if this whole self-acceptance thing was something that was supposed to happen today or tomorrow and we rush it, then that would mean that there's nothing else to accept ourselves for. But there's always something to accept. There's always something that we haven't completely come to terms with. The reason that we even have to work to accept ourselves in the first place isn't solely because of the mindset that we don't like something that is on our physical body. It's actually the perception of other people not liking what's on your body. Beauty isn't really physical, it's actually spiritual. Beauty is an energy. Hey y'all, welcome back to Holistic Flow. I am your girl, Lolo, and today I want to talk about a topic that has been heavy on my heart for like a day now. I wanted to talk about accepting Afro-textured hair, especially when you're locking your hair. This topic has been weighing heavy on my heart because I recently had an experience where I felt like I had to cover up my hair, not because I wanted to protect my energy when I went out in public, but for a different reason. I felt like I had to put it away so that other people wouldn't see what I see. Grown out roots, all the frizz. And we tend to compare our hair, right? Like we tend to compare it without even realizing it. So I know when somebody sees my hair saying, oh, it lays down and at least your hair does this, my hair doesn't even do that. I just want to make it plain that every person has their own reality of what's going on in their world. Think of our reality as a TV show, and we are the star of our own show. So people can only see what they see, and their perception is different than everybody else's. So what they perceive of themselves is because they are the star of their own show. The spotlight is on them and every little single thing that they think is wrong with their appearance. And that is why the things that we see when we look at other people may not be as bad as what we see when we look at ourselves, if that makes sense. I'm pretty sure that makes sense to everybody. So just like everybody else, I definitely have had my self-conscious spurts. Having locks and being on a lock journey is definitely that. It's a journey, and it's a journey of self-love and acceptance, and I want to really go deep into that today. But before I get into this video, if you are new here to my channel, hello. Here on Holistic Flow, we are creating a safe space, a space for self-love, self-growth, and maturity, and we're taking a journey towards an overall better mind, body, and spirit connection. So if you're with that, go ahead and subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when I upload a new video every single week if you have done that. Thank you so much, and let's get into this one. So what inspired me to make this video was the other day I wanted to wear my hair out, took my bonnet off, sprayed my locks with water as one should, and I just looked in the mirror and I was like, yeah, not really feeling it. And it wasn't really something that I lingered on. I made up my mind that I was going to put on a head wrap, not because I wanted to protect my energy from other energies that I could come across throughout the day getting into my hair, because our hair carries energy, or because any other reason. It was because of the outward appearance. I wasn't yet used to seeing my hair with the outgrown roots, fuzzy, my hair kind of doing its own thing, not completely laying how I wanted it to lay, and I just didn't feel comfortable with it. So it wasn't until maybe the next day or the day after that I realized that I should probably address this uncomfortability I have with something that grows out of my own head. I decided to start thinking of hairstyles that would make me feel the most comfortable with my hair, right? Half up, half down? No, that wasn't it. Ponytail? Well, barely. That's not a thing yet. So in terms of that, I didn't really have many options that I could turn to, many alternatives. Then I said, why do I feel like I have to address this issue of not liking the way I look right in this moment? I said to myself, this is a journey. And you know what a journey is? It's not a destination, it's not an end point, but a journey is a walk. What do you do when you walk? You're doing this. You're not sprinting, you're not running, you're not flying. A journey is literally a walk, meaning things aren't gonna happen as quick as we want them to all the time. Self-acceptance doesn't have to happen that day, the next day, or the next day after that. It really is a journey. It's a walk. And sometimes when we try to, have a quick stride or a run because it seems as if other people are having a better time accepting themselves than us, or other people are more confident with their styles than us, we may feel like we have to rush our journey along. But that's not true, because actually when we do that, when we force these milestones, we actually can inhibit our growth in these journeys. So if you are somebody who is struggling to accept the way you look, if you have locks, or if you have whatever hairstyle you have, I'm just here to not tell you that you have to do it right now and to not throw it in your face, because that's not fair. I feel like there's a lot of misconceptions about confidence and self-acceptance. For example, that once you accept yourself, then you have accepted all parts of yourself. There's many people who appear confident. They appear confident outwardly, but they have little triggers and little insecurities that may not make sense to anybody else, because nobody else has gone through what they went through. What you may be insecure about, somebody else may be looking at that and be like, that ain't nothing. Why are you insecure about that, right? But they don't know how you perceive that thing. They don't know what you've maybe gone through to have that insecurity. Sometimes our insecurities can be from deep-rooted things that maybe happened in our past that we maybe never even got a chance to process. Hair is definitely one of those things. I talked about this definitely in a recent video and a few videos, but hair is a spiritual thing, a thing that not only carries energy, but it is a plant. It's a reflection of what happens on the inside of us. Our plant is gonna do what it wants to do. Our plant never looks like anybody else's plant. There are times when we are going to look at what we see in the mirror on our head, and we're gonna look at our plant and say, I didn't expect it to grow like this, and I don't really like it. I don't really like the way it grows. This leaf is over here, that leaf is shorter, it's getting a little brown. I hope it's not getting brown, but it can be hard sometimes to accept what your plant wants to do, and that is okay. Hair for so long across history has been a symbol of beauty, especially for Black women. Our hair has been policed, discriminated against, cut off against our will. It's been called so many names, and over time, society has forced again and again and again these conceptions about our own hair, and we have generations of internalized perceptions about Afro-textured hair. So for a Black person to start to dare embrace what their own plant wants to do naturally on its own, it can definitely be a shock, because there's a process that we have to go through sometimes to deconstruct all of the systematic ways that society has made us think about what grows out of our own body. And it's unfair, but it's a reality. And some of these ways in which we think about our hair and the way we look at ourselves in the mirror, we just have to be conscious that it's definitely a journey, and there's going to be ways that we think and ways we perceive ourselves we may not know how to fix in that period of time, but as long as we remember that it's a journey, we know we're on the right path. I want to further explain how much your hair is a journey of self-acceptance. In my senior year of high school, I cut my hair very, very short. It was the shortest I had ever worn my hair. And if you asked me back then, I wouldn't say what I'm saying right now. But right now, looking back, I can say I was worried about many things. I was worried about looking too masculine. I was worried about the shape of my head. I was worried about how people would see that my head was lopsided, because now it felt like a part of me was exposed that had not been exposed before. That was the most that I've ever worn makeup consistently. I think it is important to note I knew I wore it because of the certain reasons I talked about earlier, because I didn't want to look too masculine. I didn't want to look too hard, too rough. I felt like a part of my femininity was taken away. It was a conscious choice I made to have short hair, but there were some unexpected, I think, insecurities that came up from that. Now, shaving your head and locking your hair is two different things, but we can apply this same logic to locking our hair. We go look at pictures, somebody has the same hair type, hair texture, porosity as us. So we look at their journey and we're like, okay, when I lock my hair, it's gonna look like this. I'm excited. And then expectation does not meet up with reality. Reality doesn't look like what we thought it would look like. Then comes the acceptance part. Going back to some of the misconceptions I think there are about accepting yourself, that it has to happen today or tomorrow. As soon as you realize that you're insecure, you have to start working on yourself. This might be contradictory to a lot of what I said in other videos, but I don't think there should be any rush to go on this journey of self-acceptance. Nobody ever really fully accepts themselves, or else they wouldn't have any insecurities. And if you've ever met anybody with zero insecurities at all, let me know, because I would love to like interview them or something. I could have that on my channel. That would be a great video. So if this whole self-acceptance thing was something that was supposed to happen today or tomorrow and we rush it, then that would mean that there's nothing else to accept ourselves for. But there's always something to accept. There's always something that we haven't completely come to terms with. Hair can be one of those main things, like I said, especially for Black people, for young Black people. I mean, older Black people have, man, I feel like actually younger people have a lot more confidence in themselves than the older Black communities. Just the way I sometimes hear older people still saying things like our hair's nappy, saying things like good hair, saying all different types of things. So I actually think we have a better understanding of accepting ourselves and accepting what grows out of our head. And that's the thing that we want to get back to, realizing that it's really a return back to what we know underneath everything that society has handed us, all the BS. Deep down in our root, in our core, we already know these things. We know that our hair is beautiful and that it has powers beyond what everybody sees physically. So this idea that, or this fact that our hair is spiritual, segues nicely into this next topic, which is that beauty isn't really physical, it's actually spiritual. Beauty is an energy. I say this because there are plenty of people who society deems as very physically beautiful or attractive, but to society the standard of beauty is what you look like on the outside. Some of the most conventionally attractive people, if you flip them inside out and if their insides were on the outside of them, oh, they would be butt ugly. A lot of people are not that pretty on the inside as they are on the outside. It's very rare. I'm sure you've met a person and at first, when you first saw them, they were very attractive. Then you get to know them and then you're like, wow, your personality just cancels out your looks. So basically the energy that they give off rules out the fact that they're physically attractive. Actually, they're a lot less physically attractive than when you first met them, because now you see their energy. So beauty is an energy. And where does our energy come from? It comes from the inside. This can come full circle back to the fact that our hair is a plant. Where does the plant get its food from and its nutrients from? You look at the soil. Our soil, just like the soil of a plant, is like our insides. So if our body is a plant and our hair are the leaves, whatever your energy is like on the inside is going to be reflected by the way that the plant grows. And your plant includes your hair, but it can also be a representation of your entire body on the physical, on the outside. So on this journey of self-acceptance, it's important to just keep on nourishing the soil inside. Your energy is where everything else is stemming from. This video is about accepting your hair, your locked hair. And I know I used a lot of metaphors in order to get there, but hopefully the message still came across. Just remember that a lock journey is a walk, it's not a sprint. Make sure to enjoy the journey and just keep smiling. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you have not already to join the journey. I hope to see you in my next video. But until then, I'm sending peace your way, love your way, and joy to you, your family, and your friends. All right, y'all. Peace.